Hey guys, it's Simon with the Caddis Fly Shop, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about all these different strike indicators and some of the differences between them and some of the advantages one might have over the other. So with a strike indicator, it's pretty much your line of communication between your nymphs and you on the side of the river. Obviously you can't see what's going on down there like a dry fly, so these are particularly useful. So we'll kind of start from right to left over here. So this is the classic thingamabobber indicator. How you set this up is there's a little hole on the side, and it comes in three sizes like this, a couple of different colors. I think there's orange, white, red, and then these white and red. How you set this up is you double the fly line over itself like this, and then you thread it through the hole, and then you take this loop, run it around the indicator, pull it tight, and then here's how you have your indicator set up. To slide it, you just kind of loosen that, slide it to adjust the depth. Pretty easy. The newer ones have a little peg, which is really nice to really help mitigate slippage for the depth that you set. So that's the thingamabobber. Super buoyant because it's like filled with air entirely, so pretty durable too. And then next here would be like the kind of advancement of the thingamabobber. These are the airlock strike indicators, and these are pretty cool. They have a little like screw on top and a gasket on this side right here, or on the top. It's a little gasket, and you line the line through here and screw it on top, and that's how these ones work. These have a biodegradable element in them in their construction, so the foam part right here will break down, they say, if you lose it in the river, which is nice. If you're somebody that cares about the environment, as we all should, this is a good option because it's not going to stay in the river like forever, like besides for the little plastic top. So this is how you set this one up. To adjust, you unscrew and slide to adjust your depth. Crank it down, really nice. Works pretty good. I like them. And then that comes in a couple of different colors and sizes. Same thing with the thingamabobbers. They come in three different sizes: small, medium, and large. Here's a look at the sizes and the colors. Next, we're going to one of the newest ones that came out. These are called Oros, and these, as you can tell, maybe looks kind of confusing because there's nowhere to attach it, but they actually split in half like this, and then you thread your line in here and tighten it on, screw it down, and that's how that is on. One big advantage to this style of indicator is that there's not a little nub on the side for your nymphs to get caught up on and tangled on, which I think is an advantage for sure. They're pretty easy to adjust. You just loosen and slide to adjust the depth. Pretty solid and sturdy. They're super buoyant. They also have a biodegradable element in their construction that helps them break down, like the airlocks. Some say the airlocks might have an advantage over the Oros because the line will sit 90 degrees, so it's like there's less drag and less line out, so you might make more strikes. I don't know how true that is, but that's something you don't get with the Oro, but their ease is a reason why I like to use them. Next we have over here the New Zealand strike indicator. These are super cool, super sensitive. These ones are kind of tough to cast. I learned how to cast nymphing rigs with this because it's kind of like casting a dry dropper. You have something very light at the top and then a nymph or two off the back. And so there's a bunch of different tools with this, and this might seem kind of confusing, so I'm going to explain this. So it comes with tubing, wool, and then a tool right here. Sorry, we're losing indicators over here. So this tool right here is how you put it on the line. Wool, extra tubing, and I'll explain that in a second. And so how to set this up is there's a little there's like a little eyelet on here. It might be kind of hard to see on the camera, but what you do with that eyelet is you catch it on here, on the line, wherever you want to put your strike indicator, and then you'll see these little pieces of tubing. It comes preloaded with a couple on it. You will pop it off and then make a loop right here. And then depending on how big your nymphs are and the buoyancy you need, you would take a piece of yarn or the wool, and then you cinch it up like that, and then here you have your strike indicator. Super sensitive. They have white, so you don't really like see it a lot. It might be less spooky for the fish. The main advantage of it though is it's super sensitive, so much so that you actually you'll notice strikes when your nymphs are sinking, which is really cool, something that I've noticed. So I think with these you do miss a handful of strikes when your flies are sinking, and this is something you really notice. One drawback of this is it takes a little bit to set up. You can adjust it pretty easily, you just loosen and slide and then re-cinch, but one drawback to this is you need to use some sort of floatant with it. Here's a liquid floatant. You can use gel. When it gets really soaked, you probably want to use some sort of desiccant powder. But here's the New Zealand strike indicator. Super cool, really nice for summer and low water, when you're running nymphs through clear water and just want to try something else. It's really fun. I haven't used one in a while, but I did learn on it, and this one I believe is the easiest to cast. And the last one that we'll talk about is these slip strike indicators, and these have a huge advantage when fishing like chironomids or balanced leeches in a lake. And that's because you're going to need a really long leader. So right here we're going to pretend that this is 20 feet. You know, sometimes in lakes you're fishing super, super deep. And so this is how it's set up. It comes with a little peg and the indicator. And to set it up, for sake of time, this is already threaded on, but it comes with a stopper right here, and then your actual foam indicator right here. And to set it up, you bring them close to each other at your desired depth, which is generally pretty deep, and then you make a little loop right here, and then you pinch it down like that. You can see that loop right there. And the advantage to this is you can cast a super long leader, and then when you're bringing the fish in, if it was 20 feet or so and you were trying to land the fish, there's no way that you can get your rod close enough to you to net the fish. So the cool thing with this is when this stopper bumps your rod tip, this whole thing slides down to the fish. You can reel in that extra slack and bring your fish in. So super useful in lakes. You can use it anywhere, but it's useful when you need a really long leader. So here's the Strike Indicator 101. All of them work great. Some of them have advantages over others. Some people just have confidence in one or another. So if you were confused about any of this, hopefully it helped make sense. Thanks. Have a good one.